This is Jake Longoria, the media broadcast editor of the SCS Octagon, and we are here with episode 2 of the Jake Longoria podcast, this time with Jackson Margolis, and he's here to talk about ballet. Jackson, it's great to have you.
Thanks. Great to be here.
So, the Nutcracker is coming up. It's Christmas time. When I think of, I went and saw the Nutcracker when I was in 6th grade, so that's 6 years ago now.
Okay.
And before, when I found out it was a ballet, I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be people in tutus, in leotards, jumping across the stage, and doing what my idea of ballet was. But it actually was way more exciting than that. I'd say it's more like a play because it's a story. So, to people who don't know what really is ballet, that's because the Nutcracker is the only ballet I've seen ever. So
okay, so ballet. When you ask ballet, do you mean like a production of ballet? So ballet is like an art form. It is an art form that is also a sport. It tells a story, but it also is has the ability to express art, and it is very physically demanding. So some ballets are just choreography that might have messages such as greed or anger, but other ballets like the Nutcracker or Swan Lake actually tell a story or a fable.
Yeah, so that was basically my question. Are most ballets like the Nutcracker?
Or most ballets. There are a lot of both. Now, currently, we're kind of going through this phase. Well, not currently, but there are nowadays, like in New York and all across the country, there are all of these ballet companies who are going more modern or more contemporary, and they're adding movement. And a lot of the ballets they produce each year don't have a story, but they have artistic messages.
Okay, and what are you playing this year in the Nutcracker?
So I am both a big mouse. So let's go, Mouse King. And I'm in the prologue scene, and I'm a newsboy, and I sell the newspaper.
Actually, I know that role. I remember the newsboy actually from the Nutcracker.
Oh, well, yeah. What do you remember about it, Jake?
He comes to the house and he brings the newspaper.
Yeah, that's the delivery boy. But you're good.
I was close. But how many years have you done Nutcracker now?
This is my 10th year of Nutcracker.
10 years ago, what were you playing?
All right, I'll give you the story here. So, first year, do you want me to tell you how I got into it first?
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. Wait, is the Nutcracker the first play you ever did or no?
No.
No?
So in lower school. No. Well, I'll say when I was younger, I remember watching movies like Singing in the Rain and Anchors Away with my grandparents and parents. And I remember just being captivated and wanting to maybe do this. Like I wanted to see myself on the television or in a show. And I would go to the music circus with my grandma. Anyway, so I got involved in STC, and I would go to this Saturday workshop class for an hour or so.
What's STC?
STC is Sacramento Theater Company. It's a local theater company.
Okay.
And I would go to this kids' workshop once a week on Saturday for like an hour, and I really loved it. And this is a little long story, but I'll get through it. And I really liked acting. And one day, so that year, STC, the professional company, was putting on a Christmas Carol, and it's kind of a tradition at STC. And they needed someone to play Tiny Tim, and so I auditioned for Tiny Tim. They say, "Okay, Jackson, say your name, say something about you." The artistic director told me that, Michael Lawn, and I didn't say anything. I was scared out of my mind, but I got casted, and so I'm Tiny Tim for my first show ever, a professional show, in STC's The Christmas Carol, and that was great. And I had a friend named Campbell. He's part of the Salmon family. There's anyway, so I'm in Christmas Carol. He had to miss a bunch of shows for Nutcracker, and his mom told my mom that, oh, Jackson should really be part of Nutcracker and should join ballet because it'll make him more diverse of a theater person. And I said, okay. So the next year I tried out for Nutcracker, and I got in. I was a cook. I brought across the plum pudding, and then the year after that, I liked it so much, I did it again, and I liked it enough that I started taking, I still did theater, but I also started taking this boys ballet class, which with I got all these friends, and it was just a good experience. And that must have been 2nd grade, and I auditioned to be Mother Ginger, where they all go under the skirts.
Oh, actually, I remember that.
But you have to be able to do a cartwheel, and I still cannot do a cartwheel to this day. So I did not get that part, and I went back in, and I was casted as a cook again, which was a little disappointing, but cook is great. That year, I was even more disappointed when I found out I was carrying across the female gingerbread. So, because there's like 8 cooks or so. One of them carries a male gingerbread, one's female gingerbread, and I carried the female gingerbread. Nice. Anyway, the year after that, the staple, in my opinion, the greatest thing about Nutcracker is the party scene, which is right after the prologue is the intro scene.
Yeah, they're underneath the tree. They're at the tree or whatever.
You're a little ahead of yourself, but
I'm
yeah.
not?
No, you're
Okay.
good. Anyway, they have this party. It's like a half an hour or so, and I auditioned for it, and I was 3 inches too short because everything you audition for in Nutcracker is based on your height because the costumes can only fit a certain amount of size and height. So I was 3 inches too short, but they were short on boys, so I got party boy and I was kilt boy, and that was fun because I wear a kilt on stage. I thought that was hilarious. And then the greatest, I think, well, not the greatest, the most fun role for like a younger kid keep in mind everything I've done so far is non-ballet, and on the side I'm starting to take technique classes and getting into dance, and each year doing a little bit less theater. And so then the year after I was Fritz, which is like the equivalent of
I think you played Fritz the when I went to go see the Nutcracker in 6th grade.
So let's see. You were 6th grade, so I must have been in 4th grade, so does that make sense? 1, 2. Yeah, that would have made sense.
Yeah, I think you were playing Fritz.
Cool. So that was fun. You had to play Brat. It's kind of fun. And then I was casted as Fritz again, which is like what every guy wants to be, like Fritz twice, and I was, which was super awesome. Anyway, and then after that, I was in party scene 2 more times as a purple boy. You're separating your family based on the color you wear. And after that, that was probably my last year of non-ballet in the Nutcracker, because though they do a little party dance, it's really not ballet. And I was advancing enough. This was, let's see, this is like 2 or 3 years ago. I was advancing enough that I could be soldier captain, which is the first kind of real dancing role for a male. They have a solo. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, all respect to whoever it is now, but it's fun, and I remember doing it, and I was in every show the year I did it, and that was really fun. And then last year I was cast as a professional role, Big Mouse, which I don't get paid to do it or anything. I'm still a student, but other dancers, I get to dance alongside professional dancers, and they're my friends now, and I do that. I have that part again this year.
So you're Big Mouse again?
I'm Big Mouse again.
And I thought you said you played 2 roles this year or no?
And I'm also Newsboy. I've done Newsboy this is probably my 3rd or 4th year of doing Newsboy.
Okay, so what does a Big Mouse entail you to do? Like
okay, so it's super fun. So you wear this huge suit. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like... Is
it like a mascot costume? Like a mouse, big mouse
yes,
mascot?
It's like a big mascot costume. And it's just big enough to make everything that you do impossible, but it's just not big enough to make everything you do. But it's just not big enough so that you're able to still do some things.
Yeah.
And it is a dancing role. So at first we come on and we dance around this Nutcracker statue, and that's really hard because we wear these masks, and there's only these little slits, and you can only breathe through this little part in the nose. And we look through the eyes. They're like they're slits, so we can see only a little bit. But the mask is a little bit big on us, so we have to kind of move it around as we're dancing. So what some dancers would do is they'll hold their face to make it look like they're mice, when really they're just making it so that they can see. And stuff has happened. People have fallen. But it's really, the adrenaline is great. So we're dancing around this Nutcracker. We do ballet. And the dancing is hard enough as it is. But when you put this whole heavy mascot costume on, it doesn't make it any easier. Then we run off. We're panting. We're holding our mask a little bit up just so we can get some more oxygen in. And then we have to jump in, pick up these 5, 6, 7-year-old girls, and then turn them with them above our heads, which is scary because...
Yeah, I was going to say, are you afraid of dropping one of them?
No. Well, okay, so last year, I'm rather petite still, but last year I was a good 3 or 4 inches shorter, so it was hard for me to get them up above my head, but once they were there, it's fine. Mm-hmm. This year it's a little different. I think they were instructed to move around when they're in the air, so I can get them up fine now, but I'm scared I'm going to drop them when they're up there. But the real scariest part is when you set them down is... all they know is to run like crazy. So if you set them down in the wrong position, they will just run into the orchestra.
How old are these kids?
These kids are probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
So they're little, and so I have to set them down in the right spot. And if not, because one time, one mouse set it in him down facing the audience, and the kid ran, and he had to grab it right before.
Oh wow, that's a.
So anyway, and then and after that, it's just improv, attack the Nutcracker and stuff. It's really fun. It's kind of an acting role still, and even though I don't do theater really as much or really at all anymore, and I've kind of focused on dance, it's fun to bring that back into Nutcracker.
Okay, so we're running out of time here. This has actually been really fun to talk about. So maybe we'll have to have you on again after you do perform this weekend. But so for people wondering, when can they come see you, the Big Mouse?
So I have so the shows are this weekend, next weekend, and the weekend after. And I'm not in every single show, but I'm in at least some of the shows every single weekend. So I don't have the exact on my mind every single show, but I'm in almost every show.
You know what? We'll link them in the description.
All right,
and
very
on the
cool.
Octagon
I
website
recommend
so
coming.
come
Yeah.
see you. Yeah. Okay. This has been Jackson Margolis on Ballet and what it was like to be in the Nutcracker. Thank you, Jackson, for being here.
Thank you.
And this is Jake Longoria, the media broadcaster of the SCS Octagon. We'll see you again on the next episode of the Jake Longoria podcast. Thank you.